All right, everybody. Ed Williams back here for an off-season Hokie Hoops podcast with Robbie Beran, the Northwestern transfer coming back closer to home. Leaves Northwestern, come back close to Richmond, Virginia. The 6'9" forward came in after a year last year where he averaged 7.5 points and 4.5 rebounds on 36% shooting over there in the Big Ten. So, first of all, Robbie, welcome back to the Commonwealth. I'm sure you're pretty excited to be close to home.
Appreciate that. Thank you for having me on this as well.
Yeah, man, no problem. So we're going to jump right into basketball first, and then it'll flow throughout basketball and non-basketball questions. But the thing that a lot of the fans are super excited about with your addition to the team is your defense. You're a very, very good defensive player. That's pretty well documented. What makes your defense so impactful, and is that an area of emphasis for you, either in your training and practice, or is that just something that's instinctual that you've gotten over your time?
I think it's a collective, collection of those things. A lot of it is, kind of the teachings, and tapping in, as funny as it is, the coaches, kind of joked and said like, if you stand in the spot, like, the coaches are telling you, you're going to get the ball, like you're going to get thrown to, which is just kind of, just a nod at, defense is all about, consistency. It's a choice, I would say. Obviously trying to stop your opponent every single time down the floor. I will say kind of my versatility, being able to not just have to guard one position, but kind of be able to kind of guard all the positions on the court. I think that kind of makes me kind of an interesting tool kind of to throw in, whether it be to add a wrinkle into our defensive coverages, or just kind of keep it, in the back pocket, if we need to, switch late clock, or if, I need to go small ball. So I think it's a little bit of collection of everything. It is definitely kind of something, because when you see somebody like me, you're like, he's, not really, defensive presence. But, I kind of always just try to like take pride, on that end of the floor, not let up easy buckets, just kind of compete, every single time.
No, you always hear defense is all about effort, so it makes sense. It's a combination of effort, and you've played a lot of basketball, so this is obviously the fifth year in college. You played 4 years up at Northwestern. Talk a little bit about playing in the Big Ten. Every year, come late in the season, there's always debates about the Big Ten, the ACC, and which one's better, and should the Big Ten get all these bids to the tournament. So, talk a little bit about playing in the Big Ten and what makes that conference so difficult, top to bottom.
Yeah, the Big Ten is just like it's a fight every single night. Night in the night out. It's not really an off day. You got to come prepared, because every team is coached at a high level, and I'm really excited to kind of experience the ACC this year. Obviously, the past 4 years, I'm kicking and screaming, like I'm saying, like the Big Ten should get all the bids. Obviously, got to push that envelope, but. It'll be cool, to kind of experience, obviously, get on the road and see kind of a couple new venues, but also, that a little bit of different than play style. Obviously we scout, we do a lot of film work. So when we have that off time and we're able to watch, other leagues, it is, kind of cool to see the styling difference. And so, I'm just excited. I'm excited to, kind of start this thing up for official. For sure. But this year, I'll probably be kicking and screaming, saying, they don't deserve those bids. Like,
Yeah.
but it's all about where you are, and kind of that presence of mind.
What's the toughest place you had to play while in the Big Ten?
Ooh, I think kind of like a cool moment, and this is kind of just like young Robbie. My first road Big Ten game was at Purdue, and kind of. Freshman year, I'd go early, before like our team bus would go just to get shots up. And, kind of obviously they're starting to, file in before the game, which, I thought was kind of cool, obviously being, young and like, oh, like, big time stage. So that was kind of cool. I remember I got fouled, and, once I got to the free throw line, next thing I know, everybody's pulling out their flashlight, waving it around. And for me, I felt like I was like looking around for at least 10 seconds. Obviously, you only have 10 seconds to shoot a free throw. But so I'd say that's kind of like a cool moment.
Did
And
you
then
make it?
obviously, I want to say I split. Obviously that was forever ago. But
That's
I
all
think
right, as long as you made at least one.
I think I split them, which obviously my freshman year, or my four years, I think I improved on from the line every single year. So let's hope to kind of keep that improvement. But I mean, every single place is cool. Obviously, there's a lot of fans of Big Ten basketball,
Yeah.
just as I'm sure there's a lot of fans of ACC basketball. So it's just kind of a cool place, kind of cool place to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best conferences in the country. Y'all played at Maryland this past year, right? I'm pretty sure you did
Yes,
late in the
yes, we
year.
did. We did. Yeah,
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 I
we
was at
did.
that game, so I watched you without
Okay.
even knowing I was watching you. I was
Okay.
at that game. Yeah, that was a good one. Um, all right, so why Virginia Tech? Obviously, all of your finalists during your recruitment coming out of the portal were ACC schools, which was funny considering you were all Big Ten guy. Then all of a sudden, it was all ACC schools on the list. So, why Virginia Tech? What was the draw? Obviously, besides the connection to Virginia.
Mhm.
But yeah, just talk a little bit about why Virginia Tech was the landing spot for you out of the portal for your last year.
Yeah, going into the portal, obviously it took a week or so to kind of, just kind of reflect on, the 4 years that I had, spent at Northwestern, and just kind of being, so appreciative of everything. But, kind of once I got into the portal, kind of slowly got, a couple phone calls. And it was kind of cool because not only was I talking to, some new coaches, but I was also able to talk to some coaches that, kind of recruited me out of high school. And I think like that's kind of what the portal you'll see, kind of coaches, almost recruiting a kid twice. Um, and, so I guess to say that, Coach Byers was at, VCU when I was coming out of high school. Coach Giltner and Coach Young were at Wofford. And then Coach Webby was actually here on Buzz's staff. So, all, three of those parties, recruited me out of high school. So,
Oh
I
wow,
had a
that's cool.
had a good, kind of familiarity and relationship with them, or, kind of a comfortable one, at the start of the recruitment process. And then, as it got, kind of went along, just kind of talking to them, getting to know them, more, it just kind of, felt right. But obviously, so that was that component, that checked a lot of boxes. Obviously, I got to campus, went on a visit, hung out with the guys, and it was kind of like a seamless transition, and into the locker room. Obviously, I could be selfish about it. I knew I had 1 year, and I kind of wanted just to kind of put myself in a good position. I wouldn't want to go into a bad locker room, and not to say like any of the it was a locker room that I could fit into.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, you spend so much time together. You spend every single day, and so it's just kind of like kind of who do I I felt comfortable. And then obviously kind of academically, I got my bachelor's at Northwestern. I also got a master's, in sports administration, and so Virginia Tech's kind of unique because of the it's the OMAL school. It's kind of in the agriculture science and like animal behavior. So I was able to kind of find a program that's it's a 1 year gig. Sorry, my dog's snoring in the background. So
It's okay.
if it picks up, it's kind of funny. I was talking about that, but so yeah, it's just kind of like another it was a win-win all over. I checked the boxes. Obviously, academically, athletically, playing in the ACC. Um, Excited, obviously, and that's not even talking about coming home. It's I'm 3 hours from Richmond. My sister's in med school. Up here, living in Christiansburg. So it's been cool. She got inducted into her high school Hall of Fame, and I was able to go home for that. Which it's obviously I wish like the only knock at Northwestern was how far it was, and it was
Right.
cool to be away and grow up a little bit in these last 4 years. But I can't say if I was at really any otherwhere, I would have been able to kind of support her. So it's been cool. It's been really cool that I've been able to kind of see those benefits, or reap those benefits, I should say. It's only summer.
Yeah, true. Hasn't even been that long. That's awesome. So how's the transition gone for you? Obviously, it sounds like it's gone really well. Smooth transition. But what are you guys doing right now in the off season? Just lifting, working out? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Seen some cool clips come out of the building, but other than that, just kind of let everyone know what's going on inside the building right now.
Yeah, right now we just, finished. It was so at Northwestern. We only had one summer, I guess, block because we were on quarter systems. So, this summer is my first year doing like a two summers. So I was actually dual enrolled for the first like part of summer one because I was finishing up like my Northwestern classes and then I was starting at here. So, we finished up summer one where we, kind of did a lot of individual skill work. We would lift in the morning, and then work out in the afternoon. And we would do, we'd mix it up. We'd have competitive days. We'd have, kind of get with a coach one-on-one. We'd have, we'd play pickup. And then we'd have like kind of like positional, kind of workouts where obviously it's like smaller numbers, higher attention to detail. But we're all together as a team. Now we're transitioning kind of into summer two, where they're more team, kind of oriented, just trying to get, principles locked in, getting ready, for Europe. We're fortunate enough to, kind of get, 10 practices before, the start of the trip, which, obviously helps, kind of coming in, obviously a new locker room. The more we can play together, the better, we'll be able to kind of be before the season starts.
Yeah, we were talking about this before I hit record, but go ahead and talk about the Europe trip a little bit. It sounds like you guys have a really cool trip planned. Just let everybody know kind of what you guys are going to be getting into, basketball and otherwise. At least if you know so far. It didn't sound like you had the whole itinerary yet either. So maybe
Yeah. We've had a couple, kind of informational meetings, kind of learning, a lot of the history, behind kind of the area we're going to, and just, learning about it before we go. And so I don't have like the exact itinerary. I do know, we play 2 games, going to Switzerland and in like kind of the northern part of Italy. Excited to kind of go, kind of to Lake Country, kind of experience that, again. I was fortunate enough to kind of go my freshman year, to France and Italy. But now I think, kind of as I was telling you, like I might, as being an older kid or older, kind of man, I'd be able to appreciate it a little bit more than a 19-year-old who his head is spinning and, all over the place.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure that's going to be really fun. All right, so back into the gym. Who has stood out so far in these workouts and these pickup games? Who's jumped out and you're like, oh wow, okay, I didn't know he could do that kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been obviously impressed with a lot of our guys. I think kind of give a nod to B-Rock. He's in the gym every single morning. Obviously he's working hard, and it's cool to kind of see a kid kind of. And I say a kid, I mean I'm 23 years old. I'm a lot of some of these. I'm surprised that I'm forgetting I'm like the old head in the locker room, at times, and kind of just see him, kind of how he approaches and how like kind of mature he is, kind of in his work. It's kind of been really great to see, and obviously, a big fan, and I think he's another kind of bright spot, young kid that kind of Hokie fans will come to love.
I was going to ask a separate question about the freshman, but you took a freshman right off right there. So for those who are unfamiliar, B-Rock is Brandon Rechsteiner, the freshman.
Oh yes. Sorry.
So make sure. Well, he hasn't properly been introduced to the fans yet. So
True.
You threw a whole new one out there. That's awesome to hear, though. You love to hear about that kind of stuff. All right. So how was the lake? I saw y'all were at the lake having a good old time. Clip of Hunter hitting a golf ball.
Yeah. The lake was really cool.
What was going on at the lake? It looked like a good time.
Man, we had a lot of things going on at the lake. We had cornhole, we had ping pong. We had a couple of guys went on the boat kind of for a boat ride. We went to Clater Lake, I believe. I'm still trying to kind of get my geographic bearings here and figure out kind of where I am at all times. But so it's cool. It's half hour up the road. I don't really know which direction, but it was really cool. Super kind of nice to kind of get away with the team and just kind of crack jokes, enjoy each other's company. Because we compete every single day. We work hard, and kind of to have that release and kick back. It's nice. So the lake was really cool. We kind of Mike Ward was doing a gainer off like a 13-foot deck, and so it was cool. Lynn jumped in. It was like, hey, yo, what's it gonna take to get you to jump in full close? And so boom, then he's jumping off the dock. So it's kind of just good times, and kind of building. Those moments are just as important, as kind of getting kind of one mores or playing pickup, but it's a different kind of bonding.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. All right, so what's your favorite part of Blacksburg so far? The town itself. Take the campus out. Take the gym out. What's your favorite part of the town?
Ooh, favorite part of the town.
You haven't been there that long, so
I haven't. It's funny. Like they sent a a survey around, or like the new, introducing kind of the new people, and then they asked me my favorite food spot. And in that, I said First Watch, because it was the only spot that my sister took me to. And I was like, I don't know any other spots. So I got a lot of grief for that. Since then, I've been to Lefties, and I'm a fan. But yeah, so I kind of, I'm not really. I'm still getting experienced. I'm kind of glad that Blacksburg's a little bit quiet, because I'm kind of able to absorb more information and kind of take it in. But kind of once I'm here a little bit longer, more established, I might have a different answer for you.
All right, cool. We'll check back in. We'll check back in on that, because there's all kinds of spots you haven't hit yet. I'm sure you'll find something you enjoy. Well, best restaurant was going to be my next question, but you already kind of answered that one. So you mentioned how it's kind of quiet there right now, and it's July 12th. It's not going to be quiet there for too much longer. You guys get back from your trip. It's going to be a full-blown school year with football right around the corner. So my next question, I guess, is have you experienced Enter Sandman yet? And if not, what have the coaches or the guys on the team told you about what the football game day experience is like for the basketball team?
Yeah, so I guess a fun fact, or maybe a not so fun fact about me, is I've never been to a Tech football game. Even though I've lived in Virginia, growing up, we weren't like a household that had like a lean. Now we definitely are.
Right.
But just hearing from my sister, she's telling me how cool it is. Obviously, it's everybody kind of raves about it, and it just builds builds the excitement. So obviously I am looking forward to that. I think it's a cool tradition that, I don't think words can describe how it probably actually is. So, I guess we'll kind of see, kind of come football season.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's a couple games here where you guys are down on the field for it too. So I'm sure you'll get to experience it up close and personal, I believe. So that'll be really fun.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, man. Only a few more weeks till football season. What do you enjoy the most outside of basketball? Let's get to know Robbie Beran a little bit off the court.
The biggest thing is I just enjoy hanging out with my dogs. As funny as that sounds, I enjoy kicking it. They're sleeping right now, but I actually have this little guy, Smokey. He's 5 pounds. He's kind of like my permanent shadow. But yeah, really just kind of enjoy hanging out with them. Play video games, kind of as one might. Dabble into cooking, but I kind of need recipes and food ideas. But yeah, it's just kind of like the fun 411 about me.
Nice. Well, I'm sure you've eaten on campus a lot since you got there too. Are the dining halls even open? They may not even be open. You may not have experienced that yet either.
We have the SAPC, which has been open. So they do a good job kind of feeding us there. So yeah. But I haven't gone to the. I've heard ridiculous stories about and high praise for the on-campus dining halls.
Yeah, you got to make Jaden or Brandon take you to some of the other dining halls around campus, because I've asked Hunter this question. I've asked I can't even think who else. I asked Grant this question last year when he was here, and none of those guys had even been on campus. Hunter hadn't been on campus. He's been here for 10 years. So you got to
Oh,
make Brandon and Jaden take you to a couple of the non-athlete eateries on campus and try it out because there's some good stuff, man.
yeah, I've heard.
All right, so last one, and it's probably going to be a bit of a combo, but personal goal for yourself, and I'm sure that is somehow going to parlay itself into a team goal. So, give me a little bit of goal that you have for yourself, and then the overarching team goal, and talk through that a
Yeah.
little bit.
I mean, the only goal, or like the only goal that I have in mind is to kind of bring or get Virginia Tech back to the tournament. Obviously that's the everybody's kind of aim, and kind of being a part of it. Last year, just kind of kind of seeing kind of how like magnitude or like the level that it kind of brings. It's something you want to be a part of, and obviously winning takes care of everything. Obviously individual accolades come when you win, and it's so that's nothing is not even to kind of focus on. Obviously, it's coming in and giving it 100% every single day, and yeah, obviously just getting back to the tournament. That's really the only thing that matters. Yeah.
All right, you guys have a really strong roster, a good mix of veterans and young guys. So everyone's really looking forward to this year's Virginia Tech men's team, for sure. I lied though. I mean, I'm going to throw one more in there. What's your favorite Mike Young-ism so far in your short time in Blacksburg under Coach Young? He's been known to have some pretty fantastic quotes both to the media and to the team. So I'd love to hear what you got there.
He always catches me off guard when he breaks the huddle, because he'll say like team, and then he'll like pause and go like 1, 2, 3, and then like, so I've like my first couple of times in the huddle when he broke it down, like I just wasn't on beat, or like I wasn't on like the same tone or key, and I was like, so it's taken me a little bit to kind of adjust and wait for that. That's probably the most maybe like personal, but obviously they'll come as we kind of progress further into the season.
Yeah, he's got his own style. That guy, he's the man, and we love him. Hey, thanks, man, for taking the time to jump on here. And we will touch base maybe sooner, closer to the season, something like that. Maybe I'll run into you in Blacksburg for a football game. But thanks again, and appreciate you getting on.
Yeah, appreciate it.